Hello everyone, welcome to a special edition of Days Out from Cheshire. I am in Wales today, and I am at the very edges of the 2 hours from Chester limit that I imposed in the first video. I'm actually here for the weekend, so there's going to be a lot of ideas of what you could do with a day out. It's actually, I think, it's just slightly over 2 hours, but it's my video series, so I can do what I want. I've been staying in a lovely little port town called Abersoch. My current location is going to flash up on screen, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it because I don't want to offend anyone. You can probably hear the sea behind me. Potentially, it's quite loud actually. Let's crack on with the video, shall we? So we left the Chester area at around 12:30 on Friday afternoon. Around a 2-hour drive, and we wound up at our accommodation just above Abersoch just before 3 o'clock, which was check-in time. We got a lovely little cottage. I'll tell you about that in a second. First of all, the drive down from Chester is gorgeous. You have on your right hand side lovely glorious views of the ocean for a lot of it, and on the left hand side inland you can see the Snowdonia mountain range. Absolutely beautiful things to see. Also less than 2 hours from Chester, just as an interesting aside for you there, something you could do on a day trip out of Cheshire. The further along we went, the more beautiful it got, until we were winding our way through the town for the first time and we found our accommodation. It's a lovely 3-bedroomed cottage, converted from an old barn, I believe, and I chose the smallest bedroom because it had a lovely view. My friend that did all the driving chose the biggest bedroom with the double bed because that was his reward for being the driver for the whole weekend. And I gave my other friend the bigger room of the two with the single beds because I wanted the nice view and he didn't really care. And what a view it is to have been looking out on every morning. The first morning it was wet and windy, and the second morning it was foggy, and both were very, very interesting sights to see. You can see sheep through the window. You can see sheep through the window from most of that side of the house, and then the other side of the house you can just see the barn and the things that are next door to us. And then we took the rest of the day to just sort of ingratiate ourselves with the surroundings. We went down to the beach. We didn't walk on the beach, but we did look over it, and we went for a nice evening meal at a restaurant that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll put it on screen. Ta-da! Where I had a burger and it was delicious, and that's about all we did really. We went to the pub, and throughout this whole day, as we were driving down, we were listening to the golf, and as we relaxed in our digs at various points, we listened to the golf and or watched it. We went to the pub and we watched some golf, and then the next day we sat in another restaurant and we watched some golf. It's been a very golf centric weekend. This is my escape from the golf, so it starts at 5 p.m. this afternoon and I'm planned to still be out, and they're going to be sat in the pub watching the start of the day. It's the Ryder Cup, so anybody that's into golf will know that the 2025 Ryder Cup, how that went and how this day was going to start off, which is good, and we'll see whether or not it's still good at the end of the day, although I imagine it is, because though I'm not a golf fan, I believe the lead that Europe has over the US is monumentally large. Honestly, the main sort of thing I'm going to say about Abersoch is it is all beautiful, all the food we've had has been good, and definitely worth a shot. Forgot to mention in the earlier video that the views as I was coming down to the coast at my sort of the start destination for this video, but the midway point of my journey on this walk, the views were gorgeous. I love standing at the edge of the country and seeing miles of coastline all around. I love the sound of the waves crashing into the beach, and I just love being out in the countryside. Day 2 of the trip, first full day. It was a Saturday. It was very wet and windy and rainy in the morning. There was a sheep staring at me from its field, begging to be let inside, I suppose. We headed out to Criccieth Castle. It's about a half-hour drive from Abersoch, the little town of Criccieth. Lovely little town. We had a little pot around. We went up to the castle. I got loads of pictures and videos of the castle. I love castles. Castles are like my favourite thing. Perhaps a little slideshow of Criccieth Castle. Stopped for a bite to eat at a place called Emay's. The tacos that we bought were really spicy, so I didn't really eat it. We also had a little game of dominoes, and then we beat a retreat back in the direction of Abersoch. Well, we stopped off at Pwllheli, where we had a game of pool, and we stopped off in the arcades and we had a little look around just to see what was there. We didn't stay there as long as we stayed at Criccieth with the castle and everything. And then back to Abersoch, went into town. We had our dinner in a place called Maniana's, which is a Mexican restaurant that did very, very nice food. I had a tostado as my starter, and then I had enchiladas as my main. Lovely food, definitely second in the rankings of all the stuff that we ate over the time. Third in the rankings was the day before's food on the Friday. After that, we went for a couple of drinks at a couple of little places along the way back to the house. Including a pub called St Tudwell's Pub, which is the name of the chapel that I'm trying to get a good look at today by walking to a different part of the coastline. And so Sunday was more of a chill day. We woke up in the morning again and went for a walk along the beach. We went to slightly different areas of the beach this time and different areas of coastline. I got a good look out at the part of the coastline that I was going to be walking to now today. That was hours ago this morning. And then the highlight of the day was lunch at a restaurant called the Potted Lobster. I had potted lobster starter, and then I had seafood linguine as a main, and it didn't look as good as the other mains that were on offer, but it tasted delicious. Probably the best pasta dish I've ever had. I love seafood. The potted lobster starter, 10 out of 10. Absolutely recommend. If you want to go on a day trip from Chester and you want it to be around a 2-hour journey, just so it's somewhere really different and really out of the way, Abersoch is the one. You want to have lunch at the Potted Lobster, and you really want to enjoy that. Otherwise, the other thing that I would suggest doing, Criccieth, the castle, lovely. It's like £8 to get in, but lots to look at, lots to learn. Great views out over the town. And realistically, this has just been a weekend away. It's just been a really nice, relaxing weekend away. It's all been about walking and good food. And that is something that this part of Wales has in spades, apparently. Walking and good food, 10 out of 10 for everything. I still haven't quite finished the walk yet, so I will continue on this walk and I will let you know. Sorry, bad angle there, now I'm out of the bushes. I will let you know how it ends. I'll let you know whether I get a good view of that St Tudwell's Chapel that's been teasing me since my first walk on the beach, when I could just about see it on an island off in the distance. Catch up with you in 20 minutes or so, I suppose. So for this walk, me and my friends that I'm out here with, we set off from our accommodation in the hills above Abersoch, and it's essentially a 20-minute walk to a pub called the Sun Inn. Saw some lovely sights and some views out further over Abersoch than we'd seen originally because we got a little bit higher up. And I also got to see my destination off in the distance. So my destination for this walk is that I'm basically going to cut around a little bit inland. I've seen all of the coast at the front of Abersoch. I've done that on my morning walks, but I'm going to now cut through in the inland a little bit. I'm going to go to another bit of the coast that I haven't yet seen. So yeah, so I saw in the distance my destination, and you know, I was only walking further away from this and it looked quite far away. As we were going down the road, I saw in the distance a ruined building, and I thought I want to see that up close on this walk. And it turns out that that ruined building kind of looks a little bit like a windmill. I'm not sure what it was, it's not on any map. And then closer to the pub we found a tower on a hill, which it turns out is the smokestack from a lead mine, which is also near a hill fort, which I'm going to try and look at in a minute. I haven't got to that bit of the walk yet. I left them at the Sun Inn because they're cutting back into town so they can go and watch the golf. So I could get to the smokestack and by extension the mine. However, I would have to go through what I'm assuming is a private cow field. Belongs to a farmer, I'm sure. So I'll probably give it a miss, though it would have been interesting, I'm sure. It's an extremely narrow road. It is literally a car's width. I'm not sure how far I have to go. I'm not sure whether there's anywhere wider for me to get out of the way at any point. So let's just hope no more cars come. One was coming out as I came in, and that's how I know it is literally a car's width, because it was touching both sides. So see how that goes, shall we? There's a sign there for Llangan, which is, I'm pretty sure, the town where the Sun Inn was. And further on this way is a town called Abersoch, and I'm walking through that, and I'm going to find my way to this coastline eventually. Should be another half an hour, 20 minutes of walking maybe. That is what I'm referring to as my final destination down there. However, that is still a 40-minute walk from my accommodation. Now entering Sarnbach. Woo! So, I finally reached my destination. After I left you earlier, it's just a walk through a town and then through a narrow footpath until I got to Mickey's Cafe on the front. From there, after I stopped for 5 minutes to refuel, had an ice cream, had a little sit down, figured out the last leg of my journey. I thought I'd be able to see the island from where I was. There was, however, like a little bit of headland in the way, a property that used to be a lifeboat station, but is now just someone's house. So I had to sort of climb inland around behind that to get on top of the hill, which I'm now on top of. And disappointment struck. St. Tudwell's Chapel is hidden on the other side of the smaller of the two islands. And what I can see is a different island called St. Tudwell's West or something like that, I believe, that has what looks like a little lighthouse on it, maybe. A little signal. So I couldn't see the chapel, but I can see something else. You know, the building that I saw from a long way wasn't the chapel, it was this lighthouse thing. Yeah, that is it. The walk is over. Slight disappointment at the end, but oh well. And all that really remains to be said is that this trip has been amazing. This is kind of the last thing I'm doing. I'm going to head home now. It's another 40 minutes of walking, but it won't be very interesting, through golf courses I mentioned already. And and then that's it. We check out at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning and we go home. It's been amazing. Definitely worth a visit to Abersoch, and definitely worth a visit to Criccieth. Pwllheli, also very nice, but not really my cup of tea. It is just shops and amusement arcade and a front that we didn't even go to. But castles and big walks and great food, 3 things that you can get at Abersoch in North Wales.
Alarmingly,
there's a
sheep
girl in the garden.
Their behaviour. The emergency services have been overrun with calls.
In the garden, there is a
sheep.
Armed forces will be called in to provide backup and assistance. Scientists are still trying to establish the cause and nature of the phenomenon.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
So, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and keep on questing.